Right, welcome to Becoming the GOAT. This is episode 8, the things I learned the hard way. Now, I have tried to film this 3 times. It's Sunday night, it's 10 past 10 at night, and I just want to film it, and then I'm getting interrupted, and I'm like, please, leave me alone for a minute. I haven't filmed yet. I have not filmed the podcast, and I had to get a new tripod. I'm in Liverpool. I've been distracted. It's Father's Day. I haven't wanted to be present in the world today. And I'm like, please, I just need a minute to get through this, and then we're good to go. So yeah, this week you know what? It comes every Sunday comes round, and I'm like, oh, I've got to do the podcast. I'm like, what do I say? And this week I've really struggled to know what to say. But then I realised I've learnt a few lessons recently in my private life. Been loads of stuff going on, things that I've learnt about just ongoing stuff. And it really made me think, because I tried to get some ideas and I tried to get inspired. I usually try and get inspired about what's happened to me during the week. A few things have happened, but it's just the same old, like I'm moving, I've got problems with my fucking private life, with past people, I've fucking loads of stuff, I'm still going to therapy, I'm still mad as anything, I'm trying to build my business, and I'm fucking struggling with building my business and having low self-esteem issues when it comes to that. I've got loads of fear, loads of anxiety, I'm fucking really hard on myself, my head's going 100 miles a minute, I've got loads of tasks to do, and I'm leaving everything till last minute. So yeah, and it made me think about learn a few things along the way. So I'm 38 years old, yeah, and I've lived quite a life. Does that make sense? I grew up in trauma. We all know the score, right? You identify trauma, traumatic childhood, whatnot, and for me, then I found drugs and alcohol at like 16, 17, blocked out all my trauma and all that kind of stuff. And then it just took over my life. Was then homeless, then got into a relationship. I met someone, moved in with them because I got kicked out of home. Drug addiction just went downhill. Ended up going to a treatment centre. Anyway, fast forward, abusive relationships, estranged from family, battling mental health issues, agoraphobia, fucking marriage ending, moving house, loads of stuff, new career, social media, and all that kind of stuff. And there's so many different lessons that I've learned, yeah. But one of the lessons that I've fucking primarily learned is that no one can teach you how to start over, right? I didn't know that this was like I've said this very, very, very clearly. I had 2 lives, my old life, my addiction life, and then posted it like in recovery. They're very, very, very distinct. And I suppose it was the time where before I had faith and after. Bear with me, guys. I feel like it's super noisy out there. I'm like, I can hear the seagulls and everything. And yeah, and no one's taught me. No one was like, right, we're going to start your life over and you're going to heal and you're going to start again and you can, amend stuff. And I was like, I had to learn. I didn't know about starting over and starting afresh. I've learned that over time, yeah, that I can let things go. I can cut off things that don't serve me purpose anymore. I can get out of toxic relationships. I can heal myself, because I have mental health issues that have held me back. And I can move forward into a better and productive life. So yeah, we're going to talk about lessons. And we've got lesson number 1. So I have written the lessons down because I'm going to forget, guys and girls. I'm going to forget. And you know what? We've got the Bible here. I finally got it working, by the way. It's needed. Sometimes I feel like I need to remember everything. It's like, just fucking read. Just write it down, read it. It's all right. Anyway, so lesson 1, I'm going to put it on here. Nobody is coming to save you. And the moment that you realize that is the moment that your life changes. So we've got lesson 1, nobody is coming to save you. And for me, yeah, I didn't realize this, right? For years, I always thought that the problem was the drugs. So it was either the drugs, the trauma, the fear, the pain. But what happened is all of that stuff. So my trauma, I had trauma, so I discovered drugs, and then all this stuff, right? And now, although none of those things were my fault, yeah, what actually happened is those things became my responsibility to heal, right? No one was coming to save me. No one's coming to save you. And what I realized over time is I had trauma in my life, right? We started, we had trauma that affected me internally, you know, shame, abandonment issues, rejection issues, isolation, low self-esteem, can't guilt, can't cope, can't speak, worried about everything, insecure, not knowing what to do, yeah. And through that trauma, I didn't know. So like now it's there's a narrative, there's a story here, right? Of that's what happened, that's what I grew up in. And as I got older, I wasn't coping. I had emotional overwhelm and I didn't know how to cope with life. And what happened from that point in is that I discovered alcohol, first and foremost, alcohol drinking when I was like a teenager. And I started drinking and it spiraled into cocaine use and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then, you know, I was just going, making decision after decision, running autopilot, and just, you know, making one wrong decision after another, after another, after another. And my life was getting worse and worse. And I had rock bottoms, many rock bottoms, one after the other, after the other. And as my life was going on, I'm at 19, 20, 21 homeless, you know, 24 in a treatment centre, 25 in an abusive relationship, 20, you know, like constant rock bottom, rock bottom, rock bottom. And over time, what has to happen is those things were, you know, that was my coping mechanism. And I don't shame myself. I put up a video online a few days ago talking about being a cokehead was one of the best things that ever happened to me, yeah. And some guy was like, "Oh, junkies always excuse bad behaviour." Listen, I don't excuse it. I made some fucking terrible mistakes over time, but one of the things that happened is what it did is it moved me. I had no choice eventually to have to make a decision to say, listen, I am fucked, yeah, and I need to sort the situation out. Only I can make that decision. No one can make that decision for me, right? I have to do it. Yeah, I make that decision. And when I fully take responsibility for that decision, that's when my life started to get better. I started taking responsibility to save myself. I was like, I'm not waiting around for someone to come and fix me. I was waiting for the drugs to fix me. They don't fix me. I wait for the man to fix me. It don't fix me. I'm waiting for something outside of myself to fix me. It don't fix me, yeah? I have to go internally. I have to start doing some internal work and looking at myself and working on myself. And the more I do that, the better I become. And then what happens is that I start to learn about myself and I start to change and I start to get better. And then I discovered recovery. But what I discovered is that no one can do this for me. Everything I've done was through action, right? I had to show up. So when I first got clean and had to understand about my trauma and the reason why I used and what caused me in that cycle, because I had trauma, I used drugs, and then I felt shame, and then I do more stuff that caused me more trauma, and then I used drugs, and it was just a vicious cycle. And I had to understand, one, how to break out of the cycle, but two, why was I doing it? Why did I use drugs? Why was I doing that kind of stuff? Yeah. And only I could discover that on that journey. Now I have a faith, but I had to connect to that faith. I had to understand, you know, and I have to make that decision. No one's going to do that for me. There is no one out there who's like, right, Nick, come, here's your hand. There you go. I'm going to give you this and take that and your life has changed. It wasn't like that. No one's coming to do this for me or for you. So a lot of people sit back and it's like, you know, there are so many ways in which to heal. There's so many ways in which to change your life. But one of the things we can't do, so the lesson, no one's coming to save you. You can't wait around for something to happen for you. You have to do it. That's the thing. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is, guys. You have to do it. No one's going to teach you how to go to therapy. No one's going to go to therapy for you and reveal the stuff that you don't, that's up here. You have to find the courage to be able to go and do that. Because the more you do stuff and start to become responsible and also step into this, let's be the superhero of our own lives, yeah, and go and save ourselves. The more you start to become the superhero of your life, right, your life begins to change. and you start to get more power and control over your life and the decisions, and starting to learn internally what's going on for me, my wounds, my core wounds, all my issues, my childhood trauma, what's happened to me, talking about all this stuff, and learning how to live, learning how to let go of the things that don't serve us, right? And then also learning how to build on the things that do serve us. But like I say, we need to become the superhero in our own lives in order to do that. And it is so simple, right? One of the things you have to do is you have to decide that your future matters more than your past, right? And what you need to do is you need to decide that I care about myself and I want to move forward with my life, and I need to take the first step. Now, you don't have to, the thing is, the journey, the healing journey isn't, you don't have to walk the journey alone. I've said this many times. We've got the collective. Join, it's in the bio. Join the collective. Come and join us. Come be accountable to someone else and sign up and have support to talk about this stuff. Maybe that's the first step. Maybe your first step is reaching out to your doctor and talking about your issues that you've got going on and getting help that way. Maybe it is to look up a therapist and then start and go and have an initial call with someone and do things that way. Maybe it's to start writing stuff down in a journal and start looking at things to understand where the fuck you start. The one thing you need to do is start. That's it. That's the only way. You need to put action in. You need to get started. You need to become the superhero in your own life. And the only way to do that, start. And now on to lesson 2. Confusion is usually information. You know, one of the biggest things I've learned over time is confusion is usually information. I have spent, and this is in relation to relationships, I have spent many years in pretty much all of my relationships feeling very, very, very confused. Confused in my family, confused in my marriage. I was questioning myself, confused around my friends, confused around my self-worth, confused if I was overreacting, if I was underreacting, if I was too much. All of this stuff, I was confused because I didn't know how to be. I'm going to play small. I'm going to people please. I need to understand. I need to work to get you to validate me. You need to validate me. I need you to validate me so I can love myself. I need you to love me. Sorry. Validate me, love me. Validate me, love me. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. And what I really, really, really understood, particularly over the last few years of being estranged, when I left my family and said no more and I could hear myself better, I understood that healthy relationships do not leave you feeling confused. Healthy relationships where you can be fully yourself and fully express yourself as you are without being seen as too much or without being scapegoated or without being told you're the problem, they're the best relationships because they're the safest relationships where you are free to be as you are. You come as you are, you can say what you want. And also, the other part is having boundaries. Unhealthy relationships, toxic dynamics, they benefit from you having no boundaries. They benefit from that because what happens is there's no line. So in an unhealthy relationship, they just keep pushing and pushing. There's no line of, I don't accept this. Oh, no, you're not doing that to me. There's no line that's been drawn. There's no boundary there to say, listen, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. This is what I will accept and this is what I won't accept. There isn't any of that. So then what happens is the lines get blurred and more stuff happens and we start to accept more things. And then people who are toxic tend to take a bit more and then they take a bit more and then they take more, and all of a sudden you're feeling burnt out and resentful and unsure. And if you do say something, you're made to feel like you're the problem or you're gaslit, or you start doubting yourself, you're unsure, you don't trust your own gut instinct. The thing is about boundaries, is boundaries are about helping you. They change that. They change this. They stop you from being walked over. Let's have it right. Let's just fucking just. Sometimes it gets a bit wordy. I'm trying to fucking make it concise, but we can also make it a bit wordy. Like boundaries stop you from getting walked the fuck over, yeah. Let's have it right. Let's just dumb it down. Because sometimes I like to just keep it very, 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 very simple. Don't confuse things. You set boundaries to know where your limits are, and you don't get to walk over me because it's a line. Like I say, when you put a boundary in, there's a line there, right? You've got no boundaries, there's no line. So people can just keep going, right? And when you put boundaries in, there's a line. That's the line you say, you cannot cross this line because I won't accept it. Because then what happens is when they do cross the line, you then have a way to react. You either say, no, I don't accept this. No, I don't accept this. This isn't what I want. You don't get to do this to me. That's my boundary, and you need to stick with it, or you don't get to be in my life. Because what then happens is you start to have to practice putting boundaries in. Because the other part of it is if you put a boundary in and allow someone to step over the line, and you allow that, then the boundary's worthless. So what we've got to start doing is making the boundary stick, and it's practice. It's action. It's practice. They're the most. And I am telling you this from my own fucking experience. Boundaries are the worst thing for me. I really struggle setting boundaries because I fucking hate it. It makes me feel sick. Still feel like I shake. I still feel like I'm struggling. I have this immense amount of guilt. I'll give you an example. I go live on TikTok daily. And recently I've been struggling around going live because I felt like I'm just giving of myself, and I have no boundaries. So the line just keeps, there's a line, there's no line. So no one knows anyways. The boundary's down to me to set, but it keeps getting crossed, and it gets crossed, and it gets crossed. And I'm like, but there's no boundary here, and I'm getting frustrated. So then it's like, okay, you know what? No, you know what? Yeah. I need to set a boundary. There's the line. And now it's down to me to enforce that and keep it going. Because if I set a boundary and I allow people to cross the line, that's on me. I've got to keep saying it. That's the boundary. You do not get to step over the boundary. You don't get to step over it. You don't get to step over it. And actually, I have done it though. This is the thing. Now, what I say is I find boundaries really hard to set. But you know what I have done? I fucking set them. And you know what I did do? I continue to keep setting them. You know what I did also do is I continue to speak up when you cross my boundary. That's the difference. It doesn't matter what happens. Like, I speak up even though my voice is shaking. I'm scared. I'm fucking scared. I don't want to tell you. I'm scared that I'm scared that it's gonna lead to confrontation. I'm scared that I'm gonna say something and it's gonna lead to confrontation. So I don't want to say anything. And I keep my mouth shut. And then I'm pissed off. I'm not doing that. I say, you don't get to do that to me. If you do that to me, you can't be in my life. You don't get to do that to me. If you do that, you cannot be a part of this. You don't get to do that to me. I'm sorry, this is my boundary. I'm not sorry because we don't say sorry in here. You don't get to do that to me. Simple enough. And what I've learned over time is that actually I am capable of setting a boundary. I've set multiple boundaries, and actually it's been all right. And it's never ever, it served me well. It served me well, and it's enhanced my life time and time and time again. And again, you know what we need to do? Put boundaries in. Yeah, sorry, I got a message and I was like distracted. I come online and I'm like, I need a minute. No one contacts me until I come online or film something, and I'm like, guys, if I haven't messaged you back, I will message you. Just give me a minute. Anyway, on to lesson 3. So, lesson 3, you can love people and still leave them. Now, we all know this one. We are either in this currently, or we are learning to be in this. It might be why you're watching, or you have experience of this in the past. Excuse me, sorry, I just turned busy. Anyway, yeah, you can love people and still leave them. And now this one has taken me a very, very, very long time to learn. Now, like I say, my first experience of this, I suppose, was with my family, being estranged from my family. Now, I became estranged from my family. It's coming up for 3 years this time around. But obviously, like I say, I was estranged before, and then all these feelings of overwhelming guilt from people around me. Again, like I said, I didn't have a support network. Hence why I created the GOAT Collective, because it's the network that I wish I'd had when I first went estranged, and I didn't have that. And I didn't know what to do with myself, and I was panicking all the time, and I was being told that was so awful because you cannot just go estranged from your own mother, particularly. So I ended up getting back into it because I was, I thought I would just try and fix things. If I tried harder, if I tried to over-explain myself, fix things, I hoped that things would change. And when I say I hope that things would change, I hope that they would change. That's the thing. Like, when I went back into a relationship with my mother and my sister, I had hoped that they would have changed, and they hadn't. And that became apparent when when I went no contact again. I knew nothing had changed, and I realised that love wasn't enough in this relationship. You know, like, you can love someone. I loved my family for many years, and I was just thinking, do I still love my family? I don't know what I would say about that one. Do you still love your family? Let me know. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I do. I don't think I do. But at the time, I knew that I could love my family and walk away. Like, I used to make a lot of excuses for my own mother's trauma. That's the reason why she's the way she is. So it used to make me over explain all the issues in our relationship. Well, my mother's got trauma. So the trauma is, it's not her fault, it's her trauma. All of this stuff that would just leave me making excuses. I've been in relationships, in previous relationships, where I would make excuses for my partner, or I would be manipulated or gaslit into the message of, I'm being the problem. This is your fault. I remember an ex-partner saying to me, if you didn't behave this way, I wouldn't be like this. And it's such a mind fuck, because then you think you need to act within certain ways to stop them from behaving in the ways they behave. So if I just act better, if I just am better, if I try harder, if I try and shrink myself, if I try not to say the wrong thing, all of this stuff, it never works. You are trying to fix a problem that isn't yours to fix. It takes two people. Some people aren't willing to change. And what we realize is, no matter how much you love someone, love isn't enough. Like, it's not, you can't just love someone and just think that that's okay. Love isn't enough. If it was, then we'd be in all relationships. We'd stay in relationships if it would work. If it was, and leaving doesn't mean that you stop loving someone. It just means that you put yourself first. Simple, right? I can't keep going through this. I can't keep doing this to myself. I can't keep putting myself in the cycle. And also, it's a toxic cycle, and it's one that leaves you with a lot of negative messaging, self-doubt, and again, like I say, trying to shrink yourself, make yourself small, trying to be the best version of yourself. I am a chronic people pleaser and a massive codependent. I've got codependency issues because I learned, obviously, with my family, that in order to get them to accept me, I had to behave in certain ways. Now, if I didn't behave in those ways, they weren't going to accept me. So I tried to do all this kind of stuff, and and what happens out of that is people become a people pleaser, and you try to behave in ways that you think people will love you. It doesn't work. So when you do that stuff, it does not work at all. It doesn't work, right? It's not, they don't accept it. I'm a people pleaser. If I do this, they'll be okay with me. If I do that, they'll accept me. If I do this one, I will be validated and I'll be loved. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, because what we need to do is we need to go in, learn to love ourselves, and then the right people will find us. They'll find us. So we go in, we learn to love ourselves, and you will find us, right? So, yeah, sometimes love isn't enough. We can love people from a distance. Just because you love someone does not mean you are obligated to have them in your life. We're on to lesson 4. I've got one more lesson after this. The life you usually want is on the other side of the thing you're avoiding. I'm going to read that again. Lesson 4. The life you want, let me start that again. And we're on to lesson 4. The life you want is usually on the other side of the thing you're avoiding. And this is talking about change. Everyone hates change. I hate change, you all hate change, I hate change, hate change, hate change. Okay, well, we need to accept change. That's it. There is no way around it. If, ands, or buts. We have to accept change. We have to change. We have to change in order to move forward and do better things with our lives. And I remember there's so many different things that fucking scared me. Therapy, getting clean, going no contact, posting on social media, dating again, moving to a fucking new city, but every part of that, the moving to a new city is the newest one. but I know they ain't. But I was scared to get clean. Who was I going to be when I got clean? I was going to be boring. Oh my gosh, my life isn't going to be the same. And also, when I discovered drugs and alcohol, I realised like it made me confident. It's a false sense of confidence, but it made me confident. So when I got clean, it's like, who was I going to be without that? I'm not going to be confident. I'm not going to be confident again. I'm not going to be able to speak because I couldn't speak. I really, really struggled to speak. I grew up with a lot of like insecurities and loads of trauma. And because of my trauma over the years, it stopped me from being able to talk. I was so afraid of what people were going to think of me that I was scared. So when I discovered, let's start with that. When I discovered alcohol, it just, took my inhibitions away. It calmed me. And I'll never forget the instant hit that it would give me with this relaxation. And, so all of that stuff, it gave me this full sense of confidence. So when I was getting clean, it was like, who the fuck am I going to be without that? How am I going to talk to other people? How am I going to be able to socialize? How am I going to be able to have a relationship and have sex? Like all of these things really, really fucking scared me. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to cope with this. And then what I realized is, Nick, that is not true. That's not true. And my life, when I got clean, from now, it was over 12 years, 10 times better. When I went to therapy, I don't want to go to therapy. I am scared. I'm scared to reveal myself. I'm scared. I'm fucking scared. And it's taken me, even this time around, like I'm in therapy again. I've been in therapy consistently for well over a year, maybe 18 months this time. I've been in therapy from on and off for many years, but this is the closest I've ever got to being the realest version of myself. We've been through a lot of work and it's fucking scary, man, because I don't want people to see me as me. I have had so many years of masking and pretending to be someone else and people pleasing and, not saying no and trying to be this perfect version of a person walking this earth. I want to be perfect. I'm not perfect. And it scares me to show the side of me that isn't perfect. It scares me a lot. I'm scared, right? And then what I started to realize is that as I've been going through the process of therapy, what starts to happen is all the masks start to get fucking ripped away. And I start getting closer to the core version of me, the actual me, and the version of myself of who I really want to be. And the version of myself that doesn't want to people please, the version of myself that isn't into fucking trying to make everybody like her. I like myself. I want to be for myself, And as I did therapy, I started to strip away and I started to get more and more comfortable in my own skin. And it's fucking wonderful. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's amazing, right? And it starts to feel comfortable. And then what happens is the stuff you get in the therapy session goes to your outside life. And I started to be more self-assured. I started to see myself differently. The way I speak was different. I was more confident, and actually it became less me people pleasing. I don't give a fuck about what you think. And sometimes I can still have that. But a lot of the time I'm not doing none of that. And that's what happened. And then what I could do is I could post on, that also gave me more confidence. I came online. I would never have done this without that. To know that actually, I never have a thought of, oh, well, who's going to watch it? I'm so embarrassed. I don't have that. I don't have it. I just don't care. Because I know that on here, I'm fulfilling my purpose. My purpose is to come on and talk to people, share my story and help others. That's it. Bang. Make community. And I've never diverted from that. That is the purpose that God has asked of me whilst I walk on this earth, right? And I'm in full alignment with that. And the more I'm in alignment with it, the more messages I keep getting from God about the next thing that he wants me to do and the next thing he wants me to do. And I'm in full alignment and I don't care. So I can come on here and post. I don't care. And that started from me fucking all them years back, getting clean, that I was scared of doing. That I was fucking scared of doing. And now my life on the other side is fucking incredible. Look at me, I'm in Liverpool. I'm about to fucking move, man. I've fucking been going out on dates. I'm living my own life for me, feeling confident, talking to you guys about the life that I fucking built myself, trying to help other people. Say, listen, it's possible. I built this life. How did I do it? I fucking conquered my fears. And the thing is, yeah, when I say about fear, right, it doesn't matter about fear. I have fear and I still do it anyway. And I have an experience. So every time I feel fearful, you know what I do? I do it fucking anyway. Because I've got all this experience back here of every time I felt fearful and I've done it anyway and it's worked out. And if it hasn't worked out, it's not killed me. So it's fine. Absolutely. It's a learning curve. But it's like all of that stuff I posted on social media. I've done all this stuff. But everything, listen, For years and years and years and years and years, I suffered with mental health issues because I was so fucked, right? And it kept me held, stuck in a cage. And I was literally trapped in a prison a few years back when I had agoraphobia. Trapped in a prison of my own mind. I could not leave the house. I was having panic attacks all the fucking time. I'm outside again. I'm not missing. And I say this every time, right? I need you to understand something, right? I say this stuff while still struggling with mental health issues. You see this pouch? This is my medicine pouch. It's got my tablets in there. It's got my tablets in there. It's got my medicines in there. Take medicine. Take beta blockers. I take things to help me. I have help. I have support. I have things that I have to do in order to fucking get through the day and support myself, so I don't fall back to having another fucking nervous breakdown again or continue to have panic attacks. A few months ago, I was having tons and tons of panic attacks. I joined the gym because I had to. So there's like things that happen still that go on for me. It's just a normal part of life. Like, there's no. Someone said to me the other day, yeah, how can you can't make a career out of healing? You're exploiting people. Surely you should be healed by now. I don't know who the fuck told you that, yeah? Healing is an ongoing journey. And I don't know why people have this perception that you're healed. There's no such thing. It's like layers of the onion. We're always growing. We're always doing stuff. And it's like, sometimes I notice that I'll post something online about a situation. I haven't gone backwards. I'm just talking about a situation in the day. I'm just venting. One of the things I know how to do, and I don't know if people find it really weird yet. This is why my name is Healing Out Loud. I say things out loud all the time. If I feel sad, if I have a cry, I'm just sad and I have a cry. I'm not dissecting it because I haven't gone backwards. Like, if I've gone, the things in my family, when my sister phoned me a few weeks ago, and it was like, almost people had saw it as in, like, I'd failed. Well, you should have done this and you should have done that. And I was like, that's so fucking crazy that you think that. It's so fucking crazy that you're in their headspace, because it's like this all or nothing mindset. Well, this is what it is. And if I'd have done this, I'd have been in a situation. And it's like, babes, this is ridiculous. It ain't about that. It's about how we cope through fucking life. How we cope through situations. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. This is how I cope. This is how I've grown. This is what I do. If I've got stuff going on, or that situation, I used a lot of fucking therapy, and I had a lot of, and the thing is with me, is I've got a support network. This is what I say. Have you got a support network? It's all well and good giving advice. When that stuff happens to you, what do? Do you have a support network, or are you keeping it bottled up and keeping it inside and suppressing all your feelings and pushing it down, and then you've got your mental health that is worse. You can't get out of your bed. You can't cope with life. You're fucking not speaking to anyone. You're having panic attack, whatever it is, yeah? Now, I do have all of that stuff, but I have things in place to help me cope. Or are we drinking too much to block out all the stuff that's going on for us? That's not my coping mechanism anymore. I just deal with life head on. I just say it as it is, though. I feel the feelings. They come up. I talk about it with people around me. Then it's gone. Like, it's all right to do that. It's no backwards or forwards. And I feel like it's like just a normal illustration of life, because we get people come online and they want to show you this perfection of this like life coach. I'm a this and I'm a that and I'm fucking phenomenal. And it's like, listen, I'm fucking phenomenal, yeah. I'm still flawed. I'm still a normal person. I'm an everyday person. But what I want you to understand is I'm a person who has fucking been through a journey, and I put the fucking action in. You can never, ever, ever take that away from me. I put the fucking work in. I've showed up. Like I say, the life that I wanted was on the things that I didn't want to do, was on the other side of it. And you know what I had to do? I had to fucking do them things. I did them things and I went through them. I walked right through them. Oh, I feel like I got bit there. Oh, maybe not. Oh, that was weird. All the things that I was avoiding. I think I did, you know. That is crazy. That is crazy work. Anyway, I don't know if I did or not. I feel like I think I just had a spot. Felt like it. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Anyway, I did it. I put the action in and I did it. That's the difference. So you look and you think, oh, this and that. Oh, maybe, how can you say you can make a career because you're not healed, or you're still crying every day? Of course I'm fucking crying every day. I've got fucking years and years and years of fucking tears where I wasn't allowed to cry. Well, I grew up in a household where I was told I weren't allowed to cry. And you're surprised that I still fucking cry every day. Do you know what? You know what the most powerful thing is? The fact that I fucking cry every day. I come on here and show you that it's all right. Never ever. That's the real journey. That's the real journey, babes. It's fucking real. Like, we need to get some realness in this. But you know what we need to do? We need to start doing. Stop avoiding and start doing. You know that life that you want? You look at it and you think, that's the life I want. I want this life. I want this really nice life. You know you can have it, yeah? You can fucking have it. You know what you got to do? You just got to go out and get it. How do you do that? Put some action in. Feel the fear, but do it anyway. I'm telling you, it ain't that bad. It's not that bad. We think it is. It's not. You'll be okay. I promise you. But we've got to start doing. Guys, we just got to start doing. I promise you. Yeah. Lesson 5. So lesson 5, this moves us nicely on to lesson 5. You are capable of far more than you think. So if you'd have met me years ago, I'm going to read this out. If you'd have met me years ago, you probably wouldn't have predicted any of this. And I wouldn't have either. There was a time when I couldn't imagine life without addiction. A time when I struggled to leave the house. A time when I felt completely lost. A time when I believed other people's opinions of me more than my own. And yet here I am, online, showing up, building a business, creating community, helping others, using my voice as God said I would, aligning myself with God's will and God's purpose, staying clean, in recovery, supporting other people, showing up when I say I will, having integrity, not worrying about what people think about me, and feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Tackling my mental health issues, showing up for myself, going to therapy, revealing myself, talking on here, no shame in crying, allowing myself to feel the feelings, yeah? Allowing myself to feel the real emotions, allowing myself to be me. You know how I've done that, guys? It is so simple. It sounds really complicated, but it's not. We need to just put some work in. And I know that sounds really hard because if you don't know where to take the first step, it's going to be really difficult. You think this is fucking challenging. So we write a list. What do you want to do? What goals have you got? Where do you want to? You need to. I can help you, but what goals do you have? What goals do you have? And the thing is, right? The reason why I try and disclaimer stuff. So I have these 2 things, right? I say like, oh, I've done this. I'm a phenomenal human being. I am. I truly believe that, right? I truly fucking 100% believe that because I've done so much stuff in my life and I've changed my life. I have changed my fucking life. I have changed my fucking life over the years and I put the work in, right? And I am not I'm not special and different and I'm not fearless, right? I'm just like you watching me. The person who's watching this right here, right now, yeah, I'm just like you. I'm exactly the same as you, right? But what I did is I decided to keep going. I decided to keep showing up for myself, one step at a time, one decision at a time, one day at a time, kept moving forward, set myself goals, say things out loud, show up for myself. People underestimate what they are actually capable of doing. You know, the amount of things that I've done over the last 12 fucking years, the amount of things that I've had to walk away from, the amount of fucking fear that I've had to face and think, fucking hell, how the fuck have I managed to get here? Excuse my language, yeah? But I'm very, 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 very passionate about this, yeah? Don't give up. I felt like I had more things to say. I did. Don't give up. Don't underestimate yourself. This is the thing, right? You can do whatever you put your mind to. You can do what I've done. You can change your fucking life. You can change your fucking life. I've got big, big goals this year, which we're going to hit. We're going to hit these goals. 100,000 followers, 100,000 subscribers, 100,000 Instagram followers as well. TikTok and Instagram, separate. All these numbers, yeah. Numbers are tangible. The reason why I say numbers is because they're tangible. People can feel, I can say other things like, oh, I want to grow and, set more boundaries and all this stuff. They're not tangible. You don't see that. I want to show you. See this. I'm going to be a podcaster and a fucking, person of influence. I don't want to be called an influencer. I don't like it. I don't want to be called an influencer. But you're going to watch it. You're watching me in my second year of my career. I don't underestimate myself anymore. I've done so much stuff. I don't underestimate myself. I'm solid. I'm solid in knowing that. And if it's not right now, it's at some point. I will keep doing these things. I'll keep showing up. And the one thing I did, I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. Kept showing up for myself every day, and I'll try again. and I try again. And even in the times when I felt like I'd gone backwards, like when I had my nervous breakdown in 2023, you know what I didn't do? I didn't give up. And I could have easily. So we'll talk about giving up. I could have started using again, right? So we say that I could have started drinking and using again, and I thought, fuck yeah, I'll just go back to that. And I didn't, and that would have been a very, very, very good opportunity to be like, yeah, I've fucking had enough. Or when I went estranged from my family, or when my marriage broke down, or when I had absolutely no one and I was stuck in this flat on my own and I couldn't look after myself, literally could not take care of myself, and I was fucked. I could have drunk at any point and I decided not to. And that was me showing up for myself and continuing to put one foot in front of the other every day, just getting to bed. Some days I didn't make it out of bed, that's cool. Okay, we made it to another day. We didn't do anything like harming ourselves, we made it to another day. And then we tried again and we tried again. And eventually it was like, right, we're going to set some goals, make the bed every day, 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 make the bed every day. Here we are. I need you to understand something. I need you to understand this. When I talk to people, I'm like, they say something, can I do this? And I'm like, yeah, you fucking can, of course you can. And it's like, I know they're wrong, really. And I'm like, yeah, you can do anything you put your mind to, 100%. Like 100%, I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it. All you need is a bit of determination. Tiny glimmer of hope, tiny little bit of determination. If you've got a little bit of determination, you can do anything. So if you've got that, you have to, no one can give that to you. You've got to pull out within you, right? If you've got a tiny bit of determination to think, yeah, even a little glimmer of hope, you think, yeah, I can do that. You're on to winner. Great, perfect. That's the first step. That's it. You are more than capable of achieving the things that you can achieve and fucking 10 times more, 1,000 times more, 1,000,000 times more. You are so capable. You're more capable than you think. Don't underestimate yourself. You're wonderful. I really hope. You know, my biggest aim on this podcast, I just want to help people. I do. I really want to help people with the collective, the podcast, social media. I want to be a person of influence. That's the goal. Person of influence. I'll be on there and be like, oh yeah, she's that girl. She inspires me to change my life. Oh yeah, she's a real life inspiration. That's all I want to do. I want to inspire people through my story and show them through my real life. I can do anything I put my fucking mind to, and so can you, yeah? So welcome to the new world. Welcome to becoming the GOAT. That was episode 8. Love ya. See you next week.